You're probably scrolling through a dozen pre-built gaming rigs right now, wondering if any of them are actually worth the cash you're about to drop. It's a legitimate worry. Nothing feels worse than spending a few $100s on a machine that looks great on paper but ends up lagging behind the next game release or forcing you to upgrade components sooner than you'd like. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's cut through the hype and see whether the HOENGAGER Superview is the kind of PC that will sit comfortably on your desk and actually serve you for the next couple of years, or if it's just another flashy box that looks good but falls short when you put it to work. First off, the Superview is built around an AMD Ryzen 7 9700X. That's an 8-core, 16-thread CPU that sits at 3.9 GHz base clock, boosting higher when needed. In plain English, you're getting a chip that can handle modern titles, content creation, and multitasking without breaking a sweat. Pair that with an RTX 5068 GB graphics card, and you're looking at a system that will push 1080p and even decent 1440p frame rates in most recent games. The real draw here is the 32 GB of DDR5 RAM, a size most gamers don't actually need for pure gaming, but it becomes a practical advantage if you also dabble in video editing, stream your gameplay, or keep dozens of browser tabs open while you game. The 2 TB of storage, a 1 TB PCIe NVMe SSD for your OS and favorite games, plus a 1 TB SATA SSD for media, mods, and larger projects give you enough room to avoid external drives for a while. Now, why does any of this matter for you? If you're the type of player who wants to jump into Call of Duty or Elden Ring at high settings and still have the headroom to stream on Twitch, the CPU-GPU combo and the massive RAM will feel comfortable. I've spoken to a few friends who run this exact configuration for a home office and a gaming setup, and they tell me the system never hiccups when they launch a recording session while simultaneously running a demanding title. The liquid cooler that comes pre-installed does the heavy lifting for thermal management. In their tests, the CPU stayed under 70 degrees Celsius during long play sessions, which means you won't hear the fan screaming every time you get into a boss fight. That quiet operation is a hidden win for anyone who lives in an apartment or shares a room with a partner who's sensitive to noise. On the flip side, there are practical downsides you need to weigh before hitting buy. The chassis, despite being marketed as sleek, is a fairly standard black tower with an ARGB strip that you can control through the Fusion 2.0 app. If you're looking for a truly eye-catching case that becomes a centerpiece of your gaming den, you might be disappointed. The ARGB is functional, but it's not the kind of lighting that will make your room look like a sci-fi set. Additionally, the power supply is an 850W unit, which is more than enough for this build now, but the quality isn't specified beyond the wattage. Some pre-built sellers cut corners here, and while there's no explicit evidence that this unit is subpar, if you're a power-conscious buyer, you might prefer a model that lists an 80+ gold rating. Another point to consider is future-proofing. The RTX 5060 is a solid mid-range card today, but it's not the same as an RTX 3060 Ti or a newer 40 series GPU. If you plan to upgrade to 4K gaming in the next 2 years, you'll likely need a graphics card swap anyway. The good news is the case supports a standard ATX layout, so you can drop in a more powerful GPU without major hassle. However, the pre-installed liquid cooler is proprietary to the system. Swapping it for a different cooling solution isn't as straightforward as it would be on a custom build. If you enjoy tinkering and swapping out components regularly, you might feel a bit boxed in. Who should press add to cart on this one? The sweet spot is the gamer-streamer hybrid who wants a ready-to-go machine without spending weeks researching parts and assembling them. It's also a fit for anyone who runs a home office where the PC doubles as a workstation. The extra RAM and dual-drive setup mean you can keep work files on one SSD and games on the other, reducing any potential slowdown from a single drive being overburdened. If you're a college student who needs a machine that can handle both study software and occasional gaming, the Superview offers a balance of power and convenience that's hard to beat in a pre-built package. Who should skip it? If you're a hardcore enthusiast who wants to handpick every component, fine-tune the cooling loop, and possibly overclock the CPU beyond stock limits, you'll probably find the pre-built constraints restrictive. Likewise, if you're strictly after the highest possible graphics performance at 4K right now, you might be better off.